tree and the roots kind of make me also think about the aspect that in the novel, earlier in your response too, you kind of mentioned that we are somewhat homeless, that we're drifting. And I think that connects up, well, at least for me, it makes me think about the title. So where waters meet. I'm curious, in the novel, you return to water multiple times. Water is life-giving, you're drifting on water, but yet you just gave us the image of a tree, which is very rooted, we think, right? Not necessarily kind of drifting as a tree would. So I'm just wondering, what's that kind of significance of water for you, for this novel, for the title, and the recurrent imagery of water that you have throughout the novel?
Water and title. Title is a very good question. For this title, it cost me a lot of hair. I just forever changing the idea about the title. But no matter how many versions of the titles that came before that, water is always a central image of it. I think water is the beginning of my imagination. I was born and raised in southern part of China with a very rich water resources. When I was little, there was a very intricate sort of network of inner city rivers. So in those days when I was a little girl, trains and airplanes were something we read from a picture book. There's nothing like that. So the only way that connect us to the outside world is through water. So by a riverboat, you know. So then when the Cultural Revolution ended, finally I had a chance to leave home to go to Shanghai, Fudan University to attend college, and that's by a riverboat, you know. From then on, life just progresses, you know. I left home and going further and further. So looking back, I would think almost water is a sort of a symbol for my course of life. Different waters take me to different stages of life. So water is always important. The other thing is a lot of the major events, I wouldn't spoil the plot, but a lot of the major events in the book take place by the river or along the river. And the other thing is the river, that image reminds me of the female strength. When we talk about courage, when we talk about bravery, we think of things like steel, rock, iron, like you never give up, you never give in, that sort of thing. But in my mind, I would think of water. Water is malleable, water is resilient. It would assume the shape easily of whatever terrain it flows into. So it reflects the quality of the female characters in my book. I feel my female characters are all survivors, and they can survive the most hideous situation. A lot of times men won't. Okay, so they have that special quality, water-like quality. So I want to use that as my central image. And people might also ask, why use plural forms like
Yes.
waters, not water? I think there is a marriage, that part I can say. There's a marriage between Phoenix and George. That's the merge of two cultures. You can almost think that that's the merge of two waters, two rivers. And their life become richer and more interesting and broader because of that convergence. But not always peaceful. They fight, as in any marriages.
So would that be where the waters meet then?
Right
I mean,
here. Right
that
here in
kind of-
Toronto.
Right, okay.